Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I was playing Arkham City recently. I've gone back to playing it. I want to try my best to see if I can 100% the game. I've played it and beaten multiple times the story, but I haven't necessarily done a 100% run on the game. While I was playing, it was something really interesting because Arkham City is actually one of the most important games within the Arkham series. Now I say that because it was the successor to Arkham Asylum and improved upon Arkham Asylum in a significant way and also set the tone for what Arkham Knight was built upon. So Arkham City was that middle ground that really solidified what the franchise became in terms of a collective from Rocksteady. So think about Arkham Asylum, all of those different mechanics, all of those different really cool aspects that were then brought to Arkham City, and Arkham City basically made it better. Much more arenas, different places, a slightly bigger world that still felt like a prison, and just the way the asylum kind of felt claustrophobic. They made an open world feel somewhat claustrophobic as well, and also have a lot of dynamic aspects, hidden areas, Riddler trophies, Riddler puzzles all over the place, and they still were able to do a very good job by adding villains and even side missions. They did all of these while introducing some fight mechanics and also polishing the fight mechanics that you had in Asylum. It was these same aspects that then they took to Arkham Knight. But here in this video, we want to look at something that was actually developed in Arkham City, taken and done very well in Arkham Knight, and it seems like Gotham Knights might benefit from it if they implement it in a similar way, or if they're able to make sure that even though they want to adopt that concept, they can still put a spin on it that's still healthy and still unique to their own game. Now, what is this mechanic? It's the mechanic of the goons that are pretty much walking and just parading the entire open world. Now, here's something about game development that I've seen a lot of developers, even Epic Games, they're developers that actually develop Unreal Engine. Some of the things that they've said is how challenging it is for you to be able to develop an open world and fill up that open world with all kinds of different entities. You see, back then, Unreal Engine 3 was what they used to develop Arkham Knight, and even I think they used Unreal Engine 3 for Arkham City as well. I don't know exactly which SDK was used, but I think it was Unreal Engine 3 for both. And one of the things about the goons are able to pretty much be available every time you reach an area, and they constantly kept talking, and you could pick up their chatter over and over again. And the chatter was actually quite cool and interesting. It didn't make the open world just feel bland and dry. You could hear these conversations that were goofy, some of them that were straight up funny, some of them that were straight up just dumb, and some of them that even provided clues for potential projects down the road. So I think that the depiction that we saw of the open world in Gotham Knights, remember the 7-minute gameplay reveal, we got to see civilians around the road. Now, I wonder if these civilians are going to be in a position where not only are they able to just, become mission markers or quest givers, but are they going to have that interactivity and spiciness that the goons in Arkham City and Arkham Knight were able to add to the open world? You see, Arkham Knight was even better. You could just basically be standing on some big building and you hear these goons talking about things like that freak in Metropolis, or they'll be talking about some stupid thing about Man-Bat or some phenomenon, or people like, maybe Deathstroke or other villains like Poison Ivy, and basically building this open world narrative that you can never necessarily get out of. I think that this is a very fundamental aspect of the game, even though we usually look at it and say, it's kind of funny, it seems like a joke or whatever, but man, it is absolutely very important to the game, because if this is not implemented in Gotham Knights, because they've already said, and their ambition is to make this a big open world, I wonder if it's not going to hurt the game and make it just bland, because these kinds of conversations have been iconic to the Batman games. And because of the way the Gotham Knights operate in the terms of, prowling and crawling around at night and, basically mounting different positions on top of buildings, I really think that this will provide a really cool dynamic if they can have it on there. Now, it's left to the kinds of villains that they actually develop to see if their personalities are able to keep you entertained or at least engaged in the open world. So, a very tiny mechanic and very, very huge on its implications. Isn't that crazy? That simple goons, baddies just around the streets, just talking and being funny, being stupid, can be a very fundamental part of a very, exciting video game. And I think that's something that, we need to kind of give Rocksteady a high five or kudos for. I hope that the team at Warner Brothers Games Montreal can implement this and, make the game something of a dynamic and, exciting experience. Because think about it, if you just have a bunch of civilians that are not necessarily talking much and all it is just, oh, go meet that guy, go help this guy or something, I don't think it's really going to provide too much of that dynamic experience. It could still be good, but I think it's definitely something where the system that they've already put together with the Arkham City and Arkham Knight games in terms of goons roaming the streets and being funny and all that, I think it's something that needs to make its way into Gotham Knights. But what is, your own opinion on this? Because it may not necessarily seem like a big deal, but go back and play your Arkham games and then, see if that actually changes your own outlook as to how that's actually an important mechanic. So thanks very much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk in another one. Peace out.